Before my lifelong best friend pinned me to the bed, I really thought we were just signing up for a marriage of convenience. After the breakup, the marriage pressure at home got unbearable. My told me he's gay. Let's save each other, he said. A paper marriage. I studied the rugged man in front of me and let my imagination sprint. Aha, so alpha he has to be the top. Perfect. I said yes. Until he pressed me into the mattress and I felt something that definitely did not feel like a sister. Wait, this chart is reading all wrong. 1. It had been 3 months since the split. Staring at Derek's newest IG selfie with his brand new girlfriend, I hovered over the block button for ages, then settled for mute. Derek's breakup line had been classic, "We're not right for each other." Cliché, sure, yet I couldn't come up with a single rebuttal. 3 years of marathon dating, and in the end I didn't even get a respectable finish line photo. My phone buzzed, Mom. I inhaled, picked up. Little Montgomery, dinner this Sunday. Davis's son just flew back from grad school in Boston. Mom, I cut in, I told you, no blind dates. Silence hummed on her side. You're 28. If you wait much longer, I hung up, collapsed into my desk chair. 28, in parental calculus I was already shelf-dated leftovers. Since the breakup they'd been speedrunning every bachelor file in Riverdale. Ping, iMessage. Chase, free tonight? Seeing that name loosened something in my chest. Chase, the boy next door since sandbox days, same kindergarten, same high school homeroom. A few months older, he'd appointed himself my caretaker before we could even spell the word. Honestly, if he hadn't transferred junior year, who knows what might have happened. By the time he moved back, I was already Derek shipped. You got here fast. He was already in our usual corner, 2 bubble teas waiting. Still the same, crisp white shirt, effortless fade, the calm vibe of a man who's grown into his bones. All through high school he'd been the gold standard no girl could date, and he'd never dated a single one. What's the cloak and dagger? I slid into the seat and automatically took a sip. Original flavor, the way I like it, frightening memory on that guy. Chase locked eyes with me. I'm a man. Uh-huh. I almost snorted tapioca. Pretty sure I've noticed. He gave a rueful laugh. No. I mean, I like men. Say what? This time the pearls went down the wrong pipe. I coughed like a busted vacuum. While I hacked, he added, my parents are pushing marriage. Brain spin. Chase, class heartthrob, my honorary big brother, plays for the other team? So. He hesitated. Since you're under the gun, too. Marriage of convenience? I blurted. He nodded, tense. Think about it? I burst out laughing. I should have been shocked, but the idea felt weirdly delicious. Maybe because the pressure at home had turned molten, maybe because the offer came from him. Sure, I said, girlfriend. Watching him choke on the word felt like victory. No wonder he'd never dated, why he remembered every birthday, why his gym check-ins could tile a wall, mystery solved. Total anti-smile here. You accepted that fast, he managed. What's not to accept? I shrugged. We grew up together, your prime real estate. Mom and Dad will throw a parade. And I'll never have to endure another blind date dinner. Suddenly the plan sparkled. He exhaled. We can hammer out details later? I nodded, then curiosity bit. Top or bottom? Huh? Do you pitch or catch? I whispered. Scarlet surged up his neck. Could this bronze statue actually blush? Adorable. Does that matter? He stammered. Definitely top, I declared. Look at you. 6'1", shoulders like a swimmer, veins that pop when he lifts his coffee cup. In high school I'd wondered why such prime stock stayed single. The closet explained everything. Lexi. He sighed. Just Lexi, I winked. We're way past formal. His helpless face gave me a strange sugar rush. Outside, night had folded over the city. Chase insisted on walking me home, and I didn't argue. Halfway there I sneaked glances, long stride, angular profile lit by passing cars. Wasted on men, but maybe that was the beauty, zero risk of mixed signals, maximum gossip potential. Back in my apartment I lay in bed, wired. On impulse I opened his Instagram. Same grid, new lens, gym selfies where every muscle looked photoshopped, color-coordinated fits, tailored suits that cost more than my rent. Comment sections full of crying emojis from girls who never stood a chance. Wait, this pic. I zoomed in on a beach shot, Chase with a golden retriever-type guy, both shirtless, matching shark tooth necklaces. Sunglow, easy laughter. My pulse did a little skip. In the photo, the two of them were standing shoulder to shoulder, Chase's arm draped casually around the guy. Is that his type? I tapped on comments and saw the same guy popping up on every post. Under the Day 108 gym check-in selfie, keep crushing it. Under the new time mirror shot, nice taste. The more I scrolled, the funnier it got. So our esteemed attorney Harrington is the subtle, low-key flirty kind, buttoned up in court, whispering sweet nothings on Instagram. Thinking back, he's always been meticulous. In high school, every time I got my period he'd slip a bar of chocolate into my drawer without a word. Back then I thought it meant he liked me, now I realize it was just classic gay-level thoughtfulness. I was still daydreaming when my phone buzzed. Chase had sent the prenup. This is insane. I muttered, lost in the sea of clauses. Lawyer indeed. Chase, gotta protect us both. Read it first, we can revise anything. His buttoned-up wording made me laugh. How can anyone be this adorable in a text? We wrapped up the prenup in record time and penciled next Tuesday for city. Chase took the day off. I filed for leave at Brightwave. Want to run it past your friend first? I teased, meaning the sun-kissed commenter. Chase blinked. Which friend? The one always flirting on your Instagram, I said, waggling my brows. Tall, tan, handsome. His expression flickered. You mean Ryan? Young, called it. Chase definitely has a thing for sunny boys. He's just my trainer, Chase sighed. I drew the syllable out. Your trainer. Watching him squirm was priceless. Even always prepared litigator can blush. Tuesday arrived bathed in perfect sunshine. I dressed up, life milestone and all, and found Chase leaning against his car in a casual suit so sharp the downstairs dance aunties did double takes. You clean up gorgeous, I blurted. Planning to break a few straight hearts? He laughed. You look stunning too. I spun once. Naturally, us sisters gotta uplift each other. City was shockingly smooth. The clerk practically cooed at us like we were the perfect match. The second the marriage certificate hit my hand, I posted a photo, Chase gazing at me with a softness that could melt glaciers. Caption, from sandbox pals to spouses, looking forward to forever. Comments and likes exploded. Half our graduating class claimed they saw it coming. Mom reposted with "My girl found her perfect match." Then a text slid in. "Derek, married?" I stared. "Derek, that was fast. Sure he's the one?" "Derek, rushing feels like a mistake." "Excuse me, since when do you get an opinion?" My thumb hovered over block when Chase's voice floated over my shoulder. "Ice cream stop? We're right by your favorite mango place." He was already holding 2 cones. Mango, my decade-long flavor. "You still remember?" "Of course," he said, handing me one. "Your taste buds haven't changed since 2nd grade." A warm little tide rose in my chest. Being memorized feels incredible. For no reason I could name, this sham marriage already tastes sweeter than my last real relationship, maybe because there's no dread of falling out of love, or maybe because ease with Chase is the only thing that's ever felt natural. Right now, grabbing a sister for life feels like the smartest decision ever made. Another buzz, Derek again. This time I blocked him without hesitation. Past stays past. I've got bigger items on today's to-do: wedding party, honeymoon, how to decorate our new place. "What's on your mind?" Chase asked. "Oh, just wondering." I smirked, whether Coach Ryan gets the best man gig. His exasperated eye roll only made me laugh harder. The first post-license mission, furnish the new condo. Chase had picked a bright 3-bed downtown, killer views, south-facing sun. "How about minimalist Nordic?" I asked, flashing him a picture. "Love it," he said, "but let's enlarge the walk-in closet in the master." I blinked. "Why?" "You own enough clothes for a department store, extra storage essential." Aw. He remembers my hoarding habit. Then again, gay guys excel at caretaking. "Hey," I brightened, "why not turn the guest room into a closet?" "Since," I dropped my voice, "we won't be sharing a bed anyway." His fingers stilled on his phone for a microsecond. "Your call." "You take the master, I'll bunk in the spare," I added. "Makes it easier when you bring someone home." "Bring someone home?" "You know." I wiggled my brows. His ears went pink. "That won't happen." "Don't be shy," I patted his shoulder. "When you meet right, clue me in, I've got your back. With your resume you'll have options." He studied me, gaze unreadable. "So sure I'll find him?" "Absolutely." I beamed. "You're grade A husband material." "But spill, what's your type?" "Gentle? Bubbly? Career-driven?" The redder he got, the harder I giggled. Who knew the courtroom gladiator could be flustered by romance talk? "Speaking of," I chirped, "anybody in your circle ever done a marriage of convenience? Mind if we meet them too? Could be good to trade notes." Chase gave me a hopeless look. "Lexi, not everyone is as you are." "As what?" "As enthusiastic." He couldn't help laughing at his own word. I raised an eyebrow. "Of course. Who else would be your best bridesmaid?" Once the renovations were settled, we started planning the wedding. Since we had to keep both sets of parents in the dark, it couldn't be too casual, but it couldn't be over the top either. "Should we invite Coach Ryan?" I teased again. "Make him a groomsman?" Chase set the project file down. "Why do you keep bringing him up?" Because you two are perfect together, I said. He's sunshine and rainbows, you're steady and dependable, basically, stop. Chase cut me off. He has a girlfriend. Aw. I blinked. What a shame. Still, we could, before I could finish, he tapped my head with the folder. Focus on the rundown. Humph, you get shy the second the topic turns to this, I muttered, but I obediently opened the planner. On the drive home that night, Chase insisted on taking me. When we passed a bubble tea shop, I said I wanted a drink, and he pulled over without a word. Same old order? He asked. I nodded. A few minutes later he came back with 2 cups, strawberry for me, oolong for him. You still remember what I like. I was touched. He smiled. A good memory is an occupational hazard. In the dim light his profile looked unbelievably gentle. I suddenly thought, if he weren't gay, how many girls would fall for a man this sweet and successful, one who remembers every little habit. Whoever lands him someday, I hope they're gentle too, someone who'll treat him well. Anyway, I said after a sip, let's go look at rings tomorrow? He agreed at once. I'll pick you up after court. Cartier? I heard they're new. Halfway through, I caught myself. Wait, will that be too flashy? Want something quieter? Why switch? He glanced at me. Well, afraid people might notice. I faltered. Chase chuckled. Relax, nobody will. Besides, he paused, my future wife deserves the best. The line made my heart skip. Damn it, how could he be so smooth? No wonder he's a lawyer, that mouth could sell sand in the desert. Flirt like that and whoever you target is doomed, I joked. Chase didn't answer, only smiled softly. Street lamp shadows slid across the windshield, I couldn't read the look in his eyes. That night was his firm's team-building retreat at a country club half an hour outside the city. A little after 9 I got a call from Kevin. Sis, Harrington's wasted. Could you come get him? I laughed to myself, so stoic attorney had a day like this. I drove over wondering what drunk Chase looked like. The instant I stepped into the private dining room I heard his low voice, wife. I froze. Chase swayed to his feet, crossed the room in 3 uneven steps and yanked me into his arms. Babe, you're finally here, he murmured, warm and tipsy. Missed you. My brain jammed. Was this acting for his coworkers? You've had too much. I reached to steady him, he only hugged me tighter. No, I'm clear-headed. He nuzzled my ear. Need wife hugs. Red wine and his cologne swirled together, his breath tickling my ear, sending my pulse into chaos. The room erupted, cold-faced Judge Harrington turns into a cuddly puppy in front of his wife. I played along. Okay, cuddles when we get home. Don't wanna wait, want them now. His voice turned whiny, arms locked at my waist. Wife's the best. Watching self-control lose his filter, I had to admire the acting chops, total lawyer material. Somehow I wrestled him into the car, but he still wouldn't let go. Chase, there's no audience now, cut the act, I said, pushing at his chest. He lifted his head. The alcohol had glazed his eyes, yet they burned bright. Who says I'm acting? My heart lurched, the stare was scorching. You're drunk. I tried to stay calm, pressing his head back against the seat while I leaned over to snag his seatbelt. Mid-reach, he pulled me down into a hug. "Yeah, I'm drunk," he rasped, "so I can." He didn't finish. Instead, he leaned in until our noses almost touched. Wine laced his breath, cologne lingered at the edges. "Chase." I flinched backward. "Call me husband." The words carried velvet command, fingertips brushing my cheek. You did it easily back in the room. My own breathing fractured. "That was acting." Panicking, I said, "You're wasted. I'm taking you home." Not another word. He obeyed, eyes closed, silent the whole ride. Whenever I glanced in the mirror, he was slumped in the passenger seat, collar open, tie askew, long lashes trembling, cheeks flushed from the liquor. Finally home, I gently pinched his nose. "Chase, wake up." He opened his eyes, still quiet, and followed me into the elevator. The moment the door shut behind us, he caged me against it with both arms. "Acting?" He huffed a soft laugh. "You think I'm acting now?" His thumb grazed my lower lip, gaze darkening. I'd never seen this version of him, part abstinent saint, part looming storm. "Aren't you?" My voice shook. "Didn't you say you like men?" Did I ever say that? His tone was pure temptation. All I said was, "I'm a man." "Wait, what?" Before I could process, he leaned in. Instinctively I shut my eyes, but only felt his lips brush my ear. "Lexi, you actually bought that?" His whisper was barely sound. If I really had zero interest in women, how could I have lasted this long? The words hit like a lightning bolt. I shoved him away hard, voice shaking. "You're drunk, Chase. Go sleep it off." He swayed, alcohol hitting his bloodstream all at once. Watching him lose balance, I grabbed for him. "Careful!" But he twisted, yanking me off-center. I toppled straight into his chest. The next second he let himself fall backward, taking me down onto the couch. "Chase!" I scrambled up, only to find myself caged between his arms. His eyes were darker now, half glazed, half crystal clear. "Don't move." His voice was low, sandpaper rough, one palm cradling the back of my neck. "Let me hold you for a minute." My pulse hammered. The mix of whiskey and cologne curled around me, his warm breath brushed my throat, sending sparks over my skin. We were too close, close enough to feel every rise of his chest, every tiny tremor running through him. "Chase, what exactly?" My words faded to nothing. His fingers stroked my nape like I was a spooked cat. "Lexi, you really never noticed?" My heart felt ready to punch through my ribs. He was off the charts tonight, and this position was pure danger. I could feel his heartbeat and the heat of the fingers resting on my neck. "Chase, you," before I could finish, his breathing evened out. I blinked, then risked a glance upward. He'd fallen asleep. Just like that. The man who'd been plucking every nerve minutes ago now lay peaceful, long lashes casting shadows, handsome features softened by the liquor. "Chase?" I tested. No answer. I nudged him. "Chase." Still nothing, steady breathing, dead to the world. I was officially a mess. Were those flirtatious sentences, those dangerous eyes, that you really never noticed drunken rambling or stone-cold truth? Worse, I was still trapped. His arms tightened whenever I squirmed, as if even unconscious he feared I'd bolt. Watching him sleep, a ridiculous thought hit me. I remembered what he'd said, "You think if I weren't into women I could have held out this long?" Wait, what did that mean? Could he have been lying from day one? No way. He'd never lie to me. But how else to explain tonight? Pinned against him, listening to his calm heartbeat, my brain short-circuited. Counselor Harrington, I muttered, you're making this very easy to misread. I gave up fighting and simply lay there, counting his breaths, breathing in the faint scent of whiskey and cologne, my head replaying every abnormal thing he'd done. Honestly, if he weren't gay. Stop. Stop thinking that. Next morning I dodged him, burying myself in kitchen busywork. Lexi. His voice came from behind. My hand jerked, almost spilling the milk. Why, you're up. He stepped closer. What's wrong? He was near enough that I caught the fresh shower scent of body wash, dangerous territory, flashing me straight back to last night. And nothing, I stammered, spinning to escape. He blocked me. Hold on. Gentle as ever. You're acting weird. I looked up. His expression was the usual tender concern. Last night's seducer had vanished. I fumbled. I don't know. He frowned and pressed the back of his hand to my forehead. You sick? Your face is red. I stared. Did he honestly not remember, or was he faking? Those flirtatious words, that dangerous gaze, that position, had I imagined all of it? You last night. I forced out. Last night? Blank confusion. I was wasted. Don't really recall. Did you get me home okay? I almost bit my tongue. Don't recall? Seriously? Forget it, I ground out. Yeah, you were plastered. He nodded, slipping back into considerate mode, sorry for the trouble. What do you want for breakfast? I'll cook. Watching him, I felt defeated. So this is the superpower of a gay bestie, fluster you effortlessly, then act like nothing happened. Probably as casual as girlfriends teasing each other. I'm not hungry, I snapped. He leaned in anyway, murmuring at my ear, not hungry? After I wore you out last night? I froze. By the time I whirled around, he was already at the fridge, humming and hunting ingredients. The nerve! Amnesia or gaslighting? Most infuriating of all, that hot and cold act made my heart race even faster. Then one afternoon Derek showed up under the Brightwave building. Lexi. He caught me heading in. I flinched, instinctively stepping back. What are you doing here? I've thought it through, he said, moving closer. Let's start over. Hard pass, I answered flatly. I'm married. You rushed into marriage just to spite me. He seized my wrist. I know you still love me. I yanked free. You're delusional, Derek. I don't love you anymore. Impossible. His face twisted, he hauled me against him. You can't fool me. I tensed, ready to shove, when a voice cut the air like ice. Let her go. Chase. He strode over and tore Derek off me. I'd never seen him this furious, normally warm eyes were sub-zero now. She's my wife, he stated, each word sharp enough to draw blood. Fake marriage, Derek sneered. Her friends told me. You're gay. I shot Chase an awkward smile. His gaze chilled further. Come within 10 feet of her again and I'll bury you in litigation. Derek opened his mouth, Chase lifted his phone. Want me to dial 911 right now? After Derek slunk away, Chase turned to me. You're not allowed to see him again. I didn't seek him out, I rushed to explain. He showed up uninvited. I blocked him ages ago. Honestly, I feel absolutely nothing for him anymore, so don't worry. Halfway through, it hit me. Wait, why am I explaining this to you? We agreed we'd see other people, didn't we? It's right there in the prenup. Chase studied me, a slow, knowing smile tugging at his mouth. Did you read the fine print? I left the see other people clause out. What? My eyes went wide. No way. I remember, you only skimmed the table of contents, he said, voice low. I rewrote the body. Legally, you're my wife, and you're expected to fulfill your marital duties. I stamped my foot in frustration. Chase! That's a dirty trick. Not a trick, he drawled. You didn't read carefully. Is that my fault? I started, but he reached out, brushing his thumb across my lower lip. The gesture was so intimate I forgot how to breathe. From now on, only I kiss this. My brain short-circuited. What did he mean? Before I could process, he was back to his usual mild self, straightening my collar and walking off. Incidents like that kept piling up. A couple of days ago I went on a client run with Zach from Brightwave. We had to finalize a contract at Chase's firm. I thought nothing of it, strictly business. But the moment Zach and I stepped into the conference room, Chase's expression shifted. He still looked every inch the elite lawyer, immaculate suit, polished poise, but I know him too well. I caught the flash of displeasure in his eyes. Throughout the meeting he kept that professional smile, yet every time Zach spoke to me, or accidentally brushed my hand passing a document, Chase's gaze turned glacial. Back home, he finally cracked. Why didn't you tell me you were coming? He asked, leaning in the kitchen doorway while I prepped dinner. It was routine work, I said, slicing vegetables. Nothing to announce. Routine work requires him to breathe down your neck? My knife paused. Excuse me? In the meeting, he stepped closer, voice dangerous. Did he touch your hand? I laughed. Counselor Harrington, are you jealous? Jealous? He snorted, then slipped behind me, arms caging my waist. I'm asserting ownership. My heart skipped. What are you doing? Teaching boundaries. His lips grazed my ear. Rule 1, his thumb traced my lower lip, only I touch this. Rule 2, his hand slid to my waist, this is mine too. Rule 3, he bent to my ear, all of you belongs to me. I felt ready to combust. Chase! Aren't you gay? Since when do you police who hits on me? Did I ever say I was gay? He chuckled. I said I'm a man. But, before I finished, his mouth brushed mine, feather light, gone in an instant, yet I froze. Seeing me dazed, he smiled and kissed me again. I finally reacted, shoving at his chest. Chase, stop. The protest died as he cupped the back of my neck and banded an arm around my waist, locking me against him. The kiss turned deep, searing, absolute. My palms met solid muscle, but he only hauled me closer. Crisp cologne and pure Chase filled my lungs, dizzying me. The kiss was ruthless yet intoxicating, his fingers kneading my nape felt like both comfort and conquest. Reason unraveled, knees weakening. Chase! I whispered against his lips, voice trembling. The sound seemed to ignite him. He kissed me harder. When he finally let me breathe, he still didn't release my waist. I sagged, cheeks burning, lungs heaving. Lexi. He stared down at me, eyes blazing, voice raw. Still catching my breath, mind mush, I blurted, "You really don't have to prove you're a man. I don't mind if you're wrong thing to say. I'll pick another method, then." Before the words computed, I was airborne. Chase scooped me up, striding toward the bedroom. I clutched his neck, feeling his thundering heart. "Chase, trust me," he murmured, gaze dark, voice gravelly. "Let me demonstrate." "I believe you, no proof needed." I squeaked, arms tightening. Too late. The door swung shut behind us. He laid me on the bed and followed me down. Moonlight slipped through the curtains, sculpting every hard line of his torso. His kiss turned possessive, hungry. I couldn't breathe, couldn't think as his hands glided up my sides, his mouth blazing a trail down my throat. "Lexi." He lifted his head, eyes intense. "You're mine." I clutched his neck, eyes fluttering shut. His expensive shirt hung open, skin searing wherever we touched. "Wait," I caught his wrist, voice shaking. Something clicked. "Chase, did you scheme all this?" "Yes," he breathed against my ear. "Still think I like men?" Words failed. I felt like a skiff adrift in a sea of desire. Each kiss, each caress chipped away at resistance until nothing remained but sensation. Night stretched, sleepless, until the first pale hint of dawn.